So there's gonna be a weird stream. I'm treating this more just like a video than anything else. Just I can't record very well without things breaking because this is a bad PC. But I've got a presentation here that I want to go through, and hopefully sometime I'll be able to go back through and edit this video and actually add in more video stuff. But I'm starting a new job tomorrow. Hopefully, think. Anyways, I'm about to lose all my free time, so I'm just trying to get this done because I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've had this video idea cooking, this presentation idea cooking for I don't know. This has been stewing in my head for a couple of years. I just wanted to put it out there, finally, before I lose the opportunity to, for now. But we're gonna go and pull it over, and quite simply, it is what I think a cool RWBY fighting game would look like. And like, we're gonna go over mechanics, we're gonna go over time frame, we're gonna go over what style of fighting game, and roster, and then also how I think you can incorporate some of the different mechanics from the series into fighting game mechanics pretty well. I'll be appearing and disappearing from this. Yeah, let's see how this goes. All right, so RWBY Fighter: what, when, who, and how. So first up, why a fighting game? Why this weird niche genre that we have already kind of taken a crack at before, and not like an RPG like you hear a lot of people talking about, or just a more generalized action game like Grim Cliffs maybe. Well, for one, we already have an example of the characters working in one. Like we have BB Tag. Like these characters exist here already. It's very cool. Already a lot of like moves from the series, kind of you can port them over 1-to-1, and like they can work really, really well. Mainly from like the original 3, but I mean you can definitely find examples from later on volumes where like these work really good as normals, these work good as super specials. Like everything you can find is there that you can pull as a reference from 1-to-1, or if not, you can extrapolate it and tweak it pretty well. BB Tag already showed us how to do that very well. People like doing what if scenarios. People like mashing their toys together and seeing what happens. And fighting games are really fun for that, just like a Smash. Also, like a lot of things that you would find in the fighting game genre just appear in the show, kind of. The characters are also like known fighting game players too. Like they in canon they play fighting games. Maybe not like overly well necessarily, but they like fighting games. And also, well, I like them. Sorry, sorry FGC, you're stuck with me. You have been for the past like 6 years. Sorry, 8 years. But so first and foremost, what setting do I think would work well for like this series? Because there's a lot of different things you can go with. First up, I'm gonna make myself disappear here quick. All right. First up, just go full on Vital Festival tournament. Just go straight Volume 3 era. Now, for one, it's kind of nice as a controlled environment. So you already have set rules that you can just pull directly from the show and put them into a game. You have a health bar display already kind of shown, like ore displays, and keeping track of that is a known quantity from the series, and like this is kind of a cool like just Coliseum setting for that. It also we'll get into this a bit later, but it does directly pose something that I think works pretty well, which is a mechanic that I want to sort of I have it as an idea for a staple of this game, which I think this particularly pulls pretty well from, which is a variety in team size, where you start with a 44, then you go to the 2v2, and then the 1v1. And I want this to kind of be a scoreless experience where you can support everything from 1v1 to 4v4, everything in between. You want to roll a 1v4, you can, have fun. But we'll get into all that later. I do think that while not necessarily something that I fully subscribe to, there isn't this idea that for a lot of people this is the pinnacle of the series. I think it's in my top 3. It's really damn good. It is probably the point in the series that you're gonna get the most like overall general like well-being, I guess, or like good grace of everyone who's ever like been familiar with the franchise for. It's also a point in time where a lot of like really high-profile characters get introduced. I think that's gonna be a really, really good solid starting point for this. You have a ton of different fights you can recreate, and if you want to go a slightly different route, we can go like the kill if scenario, where you just take the original and then just tweak it a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, where you take this and you treat it like an alternate scenario. Let me get this pulled up because I don't think this is wanting to actually like work. So let me pull up chat over here. Caffeine is a good song. Hey, Spicy. I see it now. Sorry, like my one I have pulled up here isn't working, but I got this pulled up now so I can see you. Cool. Thanks for joining in. How are some cons? You are limiting your roster to characters from the first 3 volumes. There's a lot more characters you can pull in from later on. Not all of them are hits, but I think there are some pretty good hits, and you're moving it stuff a little bit too much. And kind of tying to that, I do think it's maybe tied a little bit too much in the past for Viz's liking. This is a pretty, like, ultimately this was 2016. We are 10 years past Volume 3 at this point. And I think it's a little too heavy on nostalgia bait, and I don't think it really fits the theme of how a lot of RWBY games in general go. So now, for the second one, you could just say fuck it and just go, all right, we're gonna put literally everything in. There's no rules. So you do pros. You cast the widest possible net. You can like pull from characters who have never met from each other and just make up cool what if scenarios, cool interactions there if you want. And you're not really tying yourself down to anything in particular. However, you're also not tying yourself down to anything in particular, which is just kind of something this franchise likes to do. It really does like to set its expanded material in a set time frame and tying it down to wherever it thinks fits. It also kind of fits better, I think, as an end of series thing instead of you wait for everything to happen and conclude, and you can pull from literally everything the series has ever done, any character, any setting, whatever you want. You can pull whatever niche corners, and you're not... I just don't think, from a series that's not technically done yet, I don't think that's maybe the best place to go. So I already talked about how this is like where most things usually tend to have a canon or canon-adjacent setting. And either budget will have to include, like, when you're kind of ballooning up, you're kind of ballooning up. And I guess if I want, just to kind of showcase how much we can be ballooning, let's see here. So this is, I don't think, this isn't like every tie-in they've ever done. This is every sort of like major RWBY property I could think of that isn't just like random ass like gotcha tie-ins sort of thing, or like things like Crystal Quest. There's a lot. All right, so let's see here. Let's say you wanted to like limit it though. Like you wanted to try to limit your scope a little bit. Yeah, let me get this pulled over quick so I can actually look at my notes, because I swear I'm being kind of professional. All right, cool. Well, your first thing here would be, all right, let's take out anything that's like non-canon. That's just hard. This doesn't happen. This doesn't have any bearing on the series in general. Congratulations, you've knocked out 5 things. You've knocked out, what, that was a BB tag, it was the RWBY Chibi, it was the Billy game, and then it was the crossover DC Comics. You're still left with a lot. Okay, what if you want to knock out stuff that's just purely retreading ground? Now you're talking about, okay, you got a couple of other things out of here. Congratulations, you've now knocked out 2 mangas. And that's it. All right, cool. What about stuff that technically fits into the canon, but we're not really going to have any way to prove that it happened? It's also kind of maybe an alt timeline. All right, well, now you're knocking out 3 movies. Or now you're knocking out one show and 2 movies. Technically here too, we can also pull out like stuff that's partially set in the canon or isn't hard canon or kind of weird stuff. Now you're taking out the anthologies, you're taking out the Shiromeo manga, and you're knocking out Amdarina. You're still left with a lot. You still got 9 series, 3 novels, 2 games, a prequel D&T campaign, and a fucking spin-off like comic. There's a lot here. I think there might be too much here. So the one that I think I'd like to go forward with, or the one I propose you go forward with, is just tie it into Volume 10. Now this is, I get it, it's kind of like it is kind of risky. Spice, I do see what you're saying there, where you want a nice jumping off point if it's going to be different, which I think the Kill la Kill If route would work pretty well for. But just kind of historically with like with Grim Eclipse, it was set between 2 and 3. With Arafel, it's set in the middle of 7. a lot of their side stuff, they take a as of yet unexplored thing and just set more stuff in there. So they set it during a time skip. They set it during this little ambiguous period where some stuff could happen. So you want to see what happens. And Volume 10 right now, being Vacuo, is kind of where this, I think, makes the most sense. So you have a canon setting, much like a lot of other stuff in the series. You are directly promoting the new season. From the books and stuff, Vacuo is going to be this place where a lot of characters who have been gone for a while have been chilling. This is where this is like where you have characters like Sun, you have Team Sun, you have Team Coffee, you have like a bunch of the characters from Beacon and Vale are there now. Like this is where we're at the confluence point. So this is a good time, I think, we can kind of dip into that whole dream match thing, but still keep it within the story, where you are having a ton of characters returning for the first time in years at this point. And also, you're getting the most up-to-date versions of these characters. The con here is, you are, for various reasons, it might be kind of weird to be just kind of bringing back characters who haven't been in the show for 10 plus years, or who things may have happened to, and you are kind of limiting yourself there. All right. So, next question. What type of fighting game? We got 2D, we got arena, we got 3D, we got like platform fighters. I am just gonna stick with, maybe I'm a bit biased, but I would say a 2.5D tag fighter, specifically one inspired by. I'll list off like where I think these are getting inspiration from, but BB Tag, Marvel Tokon, BBCF, Arcana Heart, Million Arthur Arcana Blood, 2XKO, Guilty Gear, Generalized, Dragon Ball, and King of Fighters. So my goal would be to try to make a system which can recreate the majority of fights from the series, whether it's like two different teams, teams of 4 splitting off into 2 and fighting each other. You can have like 1v4s, you can have big team fights, everything kind of happens. All right, here, hold on, you. Somebody ban that guy. Somebody ban that guy. All right, guy banned. So, all right, how does this look? So, I'm going to try to explain this kind of as well as I can from where I want to pull my inspirations from. So, first of all, BB Tag. Hi, it's my favorite game. It's the game that got me into whatever the hell this scene is, sort of thing. So, I'm going to want to pull from it. It's also one that has these characters already, so might want to pay homage to that. Mainly, I want to pull the cross combo / like burst system from this game. The way that you can control 2 characters at once and make like these really kind of dope sequences of just these mix-ups and this synergy that you can build within that system, I think is sublime, and is why it is still my favorite game. CF, I want to though take the main button layout and the main like attack principles, I guess, where you have your light, you have your light, medium, heavy, and unique. I like the 4-button layout better than Tag's like 2 and 3/4 button, that like not quite 3-button layout for actual attacks. I want to go a little more in depth, especially I guess I'm kind of looking at it almost spiritually as like a BB Tag sequel, as far as mechanically. Granted, expanded. We'll get to the expansions. I might be going too far on this, but we will see. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall that's been bouncing my head, and I'm trying to balance it in some kind of way. So you get like unique, you get a medium mechanic per character and a button assigned to that, and then you have just a basic light, medium, heavy. Tokon, this is the game that kind of got me thinking like, oh yeah, this got announced, and this might be kind of validating some of the bullshit I've got going on of maybe you can do 4-player or 4 characters at once. And I don't want to take it fully, but I do like the whole different slots having set like assists sort of thing, at least for having a bigger team. So I think that is another thing you pull from. I still want the whole, you have your primary and you can still do all this wild stuff with an assist, but I think that's a way of handling multiple assists without going too crazy. Arcana Heart and Million Arthur. Could also kind of go with P4A a little bit in this too, but the element systems and being able to select stuff. Here, let me delete myself from the bottom. So you got bottom, left, middle, you got Arcana Heart, and being able to select your different Arcana as your kind of as your not assist, but like your sort of groove. And Million Arthur, if you've never seen that game, they're on the bottom right, or bottom middle right, where you select your assists. Granted, it's gonna be a different style of thing, but the element properties there, I think I want to pull from both those games. 2SKO, having the multiple different like assists or like multiple game styles and how you want to switch it up. I don't want to go with as many as they have, but I do like that idea of having multiple ways you can play the game. And also, co-op would be very cool. I do like that idea a lot, even if it's just kind of funny. KO Fighters, stealth generation between rounds. And also, once a character's out, they're out. We'll get to this later. I do want multiple ways to play the game, and this is in one of them. And Skullgirls, just the idea of, hey, yeah, you don't have to have equal team sizes. You can run a 1v3. You can run a 2v3. You can run a 3v3, a 1v1. You can run whatever you want within that. I want to pull from there. All right, so multiple ways to play. Here's kind of going off of there. So classic, this is the more simple way, I guess. And this is basically a lot of the weird stuff that I'm going to be talking about is for the second mode, which I want to see how exactly I'd want to split it up. But classic mode is your normal style, round based. You have all your characters, and then you do whatever you want, win however many rounds. Everyone comes back each time at full life. And you can tweak like what resources carry over. Do you want meter? Do you want like burst gauge? However, all plays out. But you can like play ratio teams. Default I think would be 2v2. Going back to BB tag, I don't like as having 4 characters can be a lot. And I think it works better for the elimination mode. But I think giving that option is still good. Elimination style, which for me is the more interesting way to play, and what I'll go through a bunch of different slides here actually concepting out, is how I guess you can sort of best emulate how a lot of fights in the show kind of pan out. So basically, the idea is you're going to pick your teams, and you're going to break it up into this crew fights this crew, and this crew fights this crew. And you split those up in your first 2 rounds. So round 1 and 2, and kind of like the story of the fight. These 2 rounds are happening at the same time at different places on the stage, or like in different places in the arena. And then you come back, and then whoever's left are all involved in the final round, the final clash. A bit more fast pace, and you do kind of need to know more characters because you're like, if you can end up being into a 1v4 if you kind of get your ass beat in the first bit. But I think it's a good way to, at least theoretically, seems like a kind of cool way to emulate the combat style of a lot of the fights in RWBY, where it's not, if it's like a full team versus full team, it's not everyone fighting each other at once. It's, I'm going to pull an example. I have different examples lined up, but pulling one from the end of 7, you have like a 1v1, you have a 1v1, a 1v1, and a 2v2 all happening at the same time. And then those kind of, as they start resolving, the stragglers start coming back and maybe help out a bit. But for the most part, you have 3 distinct fights happening in that phase. All right. So, going on the slash look here. Let me move myself up here. There's not really a good place for me to stay, so I'm just going to keep bopping around, I guess. All right. So, flexible character count. You can have 1v1, 4v4, 1v4, everything you want. You want 2v2, 2v3, 1v3, 1v2. It can all kind of work out. But 2v2, I think, is the default. And so this is also more so in elimination is what this is going to be breaking down here, where you have like you have one pair of 2v2 happening in round 1, and then another pair of 2v2 happening in round 2. Anyone who isn't KO'd in those first 2 rounds, and that'll be faster, so 60 to 90 seconds. So so you're kind of like, if you kill fast, then you are still going on. I think probably 60 seconds might be better for elimination style. You get your first 2 rounds done, and anyone who isn't KO'd in those 2 rounds, come back for round 3. And then that's just going to be whoever's left. So it could be 1v1, 4v4 if no one dies. But then you get some health recovery and maybe some other resource recovery. We'll get to the other series mechanics and maybe how they roll into this later. That you get slight recovery between rounds. That was the main KO influence. But anyone you lose for the rest of the game. And then, like, during round call, I think doing the 2x KO sort of style thing of being able to switch at the beginning of the match, or, like, as, like, ready fight is happening, being able to swap your point character there might make sense. And yeah, again, I got kind of scared by the prospect of 4-4 when I was thinking about this. And then Tokon exists. And we'll see how that goes. But it definitely validates my thoughts, I guess, of just, hey, this might work. All right. More stuff here. I think I'm going to end up skipping some of this. But versus, you select if you want to go Elimination or Classic. And then kind of from like CVS Grooves or 2SKO Fuses. Classic, I think it's Tournament Standard, just more. So just pick who you want to play, and then you do the rounds with that whoever you have. I think 2v2 Classic, I think, would be like Tournament Standard going forward. Pick your 2, play it like BB tag, rounds keep going, first to 2 rounds wins, and then do that. And then you select your character count. Again, defaults 2v2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think having some sort of ratio of health, a la Skullgirls, I think might be a good idea too. Yeah, pick however you want. Yeah, if you have lower amounts, then you have more health and healing. Classic views on too. And then you get free selection of character select screen, pick whoever you want, set your buttons, yada yada. Once you pick your characters, colors, outfits, which I think it's why I went 2.5D. Because this game kind of spans such a wide thing, this is also dipping toes back into this sort of like dream match sort of thing. I like kind of what Granblue does and what Strive is starting to do. I think stylistically I want to be closer to Granblue, where it's not as much like exaggerated squash and stretch, where you can kind of get more like there's less of an impact from costumes. I don't want like quote unquote lower budget, but just like being able to go with more customization, especially because like so many things in the series already exist in 3D. I don't know if in my mind it's at least easier to port those over and make them usable. I know it's not 1-to-1, but yeah. Being able to like select different costumes, whether you want to go like Beacon era, Mistral era, or Atlas era, or whatever we're going to next. Pick all that. Set your character order, who you want paired up with who, and then stages. Yep. Go on. All right. Some example games. So, all these hypothetical. Do not read into who is showing up in these as to who is in the roster. This is just, I wanted to pull from things and allow them to read from 3 because a lot of them have these nice things from where you just see the whole team at once. So, Ruby or Juniper. Example game 1. All right, round 1. Ruby and Weiss versus Jean and Pyrrha. Ruby and Weiss are both knocked out. Jean is also knocked out. And Pyrrha takes a bit of damage, but she's all right. All right, round 2. Blake and Yang versus Nora and Ren. Blake and Yang both took some damage. They're both pretty low, but they're sitting all right. And then Ren was also knocked out. This means round 3. Hit the right thing. Okay. Round 3. All right. Blake at 40%. So Blake and Yang both recover slightly. Pyrrha recovers also slightly. Everyone gets plus 10% boost. And then, Blake and Yang as assists, kind of like think BB tag, where you have your full roster there. But then Pyrrha is by herself with no one to help her. All right. So you end up being with a point, and a partner versus a point. Number 2, Sun versus Coffee. All right. Round 1, Sun and Neptune versus Coco and Fox. Goes to time, no one gets knocked out. Sun and Neptune both pretty low, but still hanging in there. Coco and Fox doing better, both still hanging in there. Round 2, Scarlet and Sage, Vale Yatsu. Again, time up. This time Scarlet was knocked out. Sage scrapes through. Vale Yatsu both about half health. All right, cool. So now you get the heal. All right, Sun and Neptune versus Sun and Neptune and Sage versus Coco and Fox and Velvet and Yatsu. So now you end up with a 3v4. So a point and a partner and assist versus a point, a partner and assist. And I'll get into how this whole point versus partner thing, partner versus assist thing goes later, but you do get some more stuff going on here. All right. They both heal up. Coffee is that'd be cool. I do like the idea of the game making an acronym and trying to like force it in there. I think there could be some stuff there. I think that's what Tokon's doing, right? Where like you get new like coffee. I like coffee a lot. Team Coffee is fucking sick, and I love those books. Those first 2 books. First one's better. For me, it goes like book 3 is probably the best. Book 1 is pretty good. Book 2 is a little like volume 5. There's too much going on. It gets pretty rushed, but I do like them. I'm happy they'll be showing back up in 10, probably, almost certainly. They're there. They're gonna be the heroes who are showing back up in the series. So I'm happy they're coming back. Fucking love Coffee. But yeah, so here you end up with a 3v4 in the final round, and I'll get down to how like assists and all this stuff get broken down later. All right, 3 Indigo versus Auburn. I think I've got 2 more examples. I'll try to burn through these quick. All right, Nebula and Dew versus Austin and Bolin. Double KO on Indigo's side, and then also both here. Yeah, I thought it was, well, there's like the default teams, but I'm pretty sure there was something they said where like the game will come up with a team name for every group of 4. I'd have to double check. I can try pulling that up after this, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, basically now you end up with a 1v3 in this case. So you get a point versus a partner and an assist. All right, and then Pure versus Cardinal. We're rolling into this as a 1v4 now. All right, cool. Pure versus Cardinal and Sky. She cleans up Sky. Cardinal gets hit. All right, we go there. She heals, but now because she's a 1, she actually heals more. So I kind of envision like if it's kind of even ratios, then you get 10% recovery. If you're down by 1, you get 15% recovery. If you're down by 2, you get 20% recovery. Yeah, just flush with the numbers, but part of that whole balancing of like the ratio sort of thing. All right, now we get another one knocked out. Yep, cool. Now we get a 1v1 at the end versus 90 versus 40%. So now you're just getting a point versus a point. All right, so special conditions. I keep clicking on the wrong thing. Thank you, OBS. All right. Some special things. This isn't really too important, but like who beats who. If you get like quad knockdowns, I can pause it if you want to read this. Pause it. I thought about this. I started this presentation forever ago, so I don't actually fully remember exactly everything I had in here. I've been doing a bunch of the later stuff now, but just some like caveats there, and then some again just breakdown of different stuff if you want to look at that. But that'll be for later. All right, the cool stuff that I wanted to talk about. All right, so Shield's mechanics and kind of how we adapt them. So first up, Aura. The manifestation of one's soul can be projected outwards as either a semi-passive defensive shield surrounding oneself through semblances, or used to activate dust as well. Has a unique color for each individual, typically becomes visible when either strained or when broken. Only Grim don't possess Aura. Everything else that is alive and has a soul has the capability to have an Aura. Not necessarily they do, but they at least can. Everything with a soul has this. It's just, can you project it, sort of thing. And once it's depleted or broken, the visual becomes basically like a normal human sort of thing. This is what makes people superhuman. It allows them to deal more damage, makes them stronger, faster, makes them able to like actually tank hits, as opposed to just, getting squashed like a bug like a normal human would. Hello, cat. Cat is perched in the background there. All right, so that's Aura. Semblance. This is, I guess, kind of think of like quirks from My Hero. This is your unique power. It's unique power tied to everyone's Aura. Anyone can have one, not everyone does. So, like, yeah, just because you have an Aura doesn't mean you have a semblance. Usually they're brought out through like moments of increased strain. Could be just through training, could be through life or circumstances, and then just kind of appears. But it is, you can kind of generally classify them, but they are unique. Thing, yeah. So super meteorized health bar. I have an idea for that. So I do, let me actually go back one. Actually, in here. Okay. The relative power output is generally much greater than the associated Aura utilized. This is something that's like stated multiple times in the show, especially like in the early World of Remnants, where basically like Aura gets used up a lot faster defensively than it does offensively. That's not to say that you can't exhaust yourself while using it offensively, but like you can store up and use these things and still have a pretty big defensive shield. And it also kind of does passively over time come back, as long as it's not broken. Even once it's broken, it will come back over time. But like I'm imagining it kind of like Carmine and Uni, where you are using health and you are using your stuff, but it's coming back at a kind of disproportionate rate where it's still pretty good. Like you're not hurting if you're losing this. Yeah, you're not in trouble whenever you're using your semblance, unless you're overusing it. But I want health to be like a factor, I guess, but I don't want it to be like a defining factor. In like clutch situations, is gonna, in like things are getting intense. Yes, it's gonna be important that, hey, like you're maybe overusing yourself, you're overexerting yourself, you're losing a lot of your points here. But like it's not gonna be ultimately a huge deal. Same thing with, if I go back to here, we'll get to dust in a second. If we go back to Aura, like I still want blocking to exist. Like, I think it's mainly about use of health bars, and like, I don't want there to be too much chip damage in the game. I don't think. Again, this is all hypothetical. I don't have any builds or anything like that. Oh, getting jet. All right. All right. Anyways, dust. All right. So this is like, think of this like materia. It is just this normal sort of power source in the world. It's nature's wrath manifest sort of thing, where you have all these different elements and you can use to modify different like things in the world. This is like their main power source. This is what you use to power cars. This is their main source of electricity. This is like what they use in ammunition. It is the primary thing that gave them edge over the main antagonist of the series, the Grimm, to be able to push back the monsters and like actually live, and what gave humanity a good foothold. So there are different classifications, and this is where my ties to like Arcana Heart kind of came to. This would need some tweaking to make sure it doesn't go overboard and get too like overly in depth. But this is where like kind of Arcana Heart or Million Arthur kind of ties come in, is to how I want dust to be kind of utilized. There's 4 types: fire, water, electricity, and wind, and then those base 4 get sort of expanded out into steam, gravity, combustion, ice, lava, plant, rock, and hard light. So what are these? So again, like materia. Then you can also treat them like Arcana, treat them like kind of the status elements, but less like RPG status elements and more just elemental attacks. So fire, fireballs, waves, explosions, deal dot damage, and just generally increase your damage. Water, which we've never actually seen used in the show, like on its own. I have the idea of maybe increase susceptibility to other attacks. Or maybe slow down, stuff like that. Lightning, you move faster. So it's used for movement and speed increases. You can also use it for like shock traps or just shocking people. Electric bolts, lightning bolts, like general lightning attacks. Wind, pushback, maybe give double jumps, stuff like that. Mobility control, maybe like Aang. But generally, like tornadoes are mainly the way that it's depicted. Like just sort of general typhoons or stuff, or mobility. That's for the main 4. For the other ones, steam, probably a little less useful, but mainly just shown for visual obscurity, jump height, traversal. We could maybe use something there. Gravity sees a lot of use later on in the show. I think it's really, gravity's cool. I like gravity dust a lot, but mainly for additional jump options, repulsion, attraction, magnetism type stuff. It's really cool. Combustion, I guess just kind of treat it. The main thing you pull from actually would be Aerophel, because otherwise it's like gas. But in there it's like used to amp up Yang's abilities. It's like one of her upgrades is she just starts using combustion dust. So just kind of like general physical overall stat boosts. I'd picture ice, projectiles, ground freezing, like reduced control. Weiss uses it all the damn time. Winter uses it pretty well too. Like it's ice is everywhere. Used as like ice shards and stuff like that. I mean, look at Dizzy. Like Dizzy's probably a good example for you'd kind of want to use it. Mitsuru obviously too. Lava, again, not seen too much during the series. I'm just again kind of just a bigger version of fire, maybe a bit slower, but more for traps and stuff. You see it makes glass and stuff. Plant, we've never seen in the show. It's appeared in the fucking D&D campaign though. I just probably repurpose it to meter and healing and stuff like that. Maybe some traps, but again, I've never actually seen it. Rock, walls, build walls. I think you'd also use it again with Avatar coming out soon and getting on that, like giving some armor attributes. Maybe it's kind of like you get that initial hit, go through, or like think about Aganos, I guess from KI. That can work pretty well. And then hard light, shields, and then you can just build stuff too. I like hard light. There's some stuff you can do with hard light. We'll get to that a little bit later when we get to the roster. All right. So buttons. There's the whole thing about I know the past couple of years in the FGC of there's too many damn buttons. Which when I look at Tokon, I don't want 3 different assist buttons. So this might be a bit tricky, but I kind of like this idea of paring it down. So you have like going back to the CF sort of baseline: light, medium, heavy, and then unique. Which again is what Tokon does, but I want to change up what the how the assist system works there. Sorry, talking a lot. All right, so partner. Light, medium, heavy, normal stuff. Like think CF that works. Semblance, tie it to drive basically. or yeah, I forget what they call it in Tokon, but it's your unique mechanic. Use semblance to do your own mobility, big attacks. That's gonna be unique to character, but it's how you make you. Now it's gonna be probably your main also way of character expression and your main way of like kind of differentiating between characters, what their semblance does. And then partner, I just took the name from Baby Tag, where. So the way I kind of want, I'll go into how I think you can break that down more. But yeah, so you have an assist button and a dust button, which dust is now going to be kind of like Arcana, but almost more like Million Arthur, where you have multiple to select from. But that's going to be reloads because I saw the first time I saw Eltnum in uni. First time I played Gears of War. I'm blanking on something else too that I like the idea of. You have this reload mechanic in this game. I think is really cool. It's more so like Elfel's rechamber thing from Exert. I think is fucking dope. And I'm not doing like a full like character breakdown thing. I want to maybe do that some other time. Like, well, I'll do the roster, but I guess as a preview for something I might eventually be able to do is I would love for RWBY to have give RWBY like Elfelt rechamber stuff, but not for like corner pressure. More so just like if you want to keep going, if you want to do multiple shots of something, if you want to like keep on going in direction with like gun blast, or if you want to keep doing side pot and keep shooting, like just taking those moves and tag, you have to do that input and keep on rechambering manually. I think that'd be fucking dope. Anyways, all right, so semblance. So the S button, your drive button equivalent. Performs actually unique character's abilities. Certain moves use a small amount of recoverable health, but you can't kill yourself. And again, I think the overall sort of amount is going to be pretty low, and that needs to be used. And then certain ones are altered by dust type, specifically like look at Blake's clones, look at Weiss's glyphs. Those are very dependent on dust, and they can like infuse themselves to give them different properties. Like you fucking look at, I think it's Volume 2, where you get Weiss's glyph plus electricity equals time dilation. Bring that shit back. Like there's some crazy stuff that can happen when you start mixing and matching. Yeah, different, and then I think also you get different dust affinities for different characters. We'll get into that a bit later. And then yeah, certain semblances like during team up attacks. So some like here you have Weiss's glyphs amping like applying a freeze state to RWBY's shots. So I think having some kind of way of layering those could be cool. I don't think you need to put that on every single attack everyone has, but having like unique situations might be kind of cool. All right, dust. Let me disappear for a second. All right. So hold A, B. So basically, I want you to be able to select between 3 different types at a point in time when you're sort of building this up. So basically, D plus A, D plus B, D plus C. You go on, then you change between like ice, fire, gravity, like RWBY's doing up there, for example. All right, and then you either hit 2-2D or DD. Got to double tap it. However, in order to reload, or you can swap if you reload with nothing left, then you go to your next one in the line. Yada yada. I think having an active reload sort of thing, basically just a way to alter move properties. If you look at like our Arcana Heart system, anyone can use anything, but then there's like obviously like with balancing stuff, it's gonna get out of hand. Like some things are gonna be better than others. Let's see how that all pans out. Sorry, I lost myself there. All right, so like, obviously like characters like certain ones will just rise above things. You try to tweak that later on. But I think having like, there should be benefits for characters who use the ones that they're kind of like, quote unquote, canon do, I guess. Like RWBY using ice, fire, or gravity. Weiss using, let's see if I can get this right. Lightning, wind, ice, water, fire, and gravity, I think are all in hers. Yeah, like I think having ones that tie in should be good. And then certain special moves will use some of your dust, so you have like a limited amount of it. I think just having like, hey, you can like effectively you can use each one 10 times or whatever, or like 3 times, and you gotta go for a reload or to a swap to something else. That's gonna be different character depending on what type of weapon you use, how they use it, how like big that attack is. I think that's a character by character thing, but I think that can work. All right, let me start back down here. All right, partner. Think of it like BB tags assists. I again haven't actually locked down the layout, but either back, neutral, or forward plus assist, or back, down, and forward like 2SKO. So this is where I get into the difference between a partner and the general teammates, your general assists. So my idea is, at least for a 2v2, in a 2v2, you have your two characters who are each other's partners. But if you had like a 4v4, you have two sets of partners, and then anyone who's left over are then just the general assists for the other ones, if that makes sense. So whoever you have in, you have your partner then gets your full extent of stuff. They're the ones you use your cross combo with. They're the one who gets access to their full assist kit. This is kind of where the Tokon sort of thing comes in, where then your other ones, your other characters, can come in, and they will have like a set assist, I guess, kind of thing, or like a signature assist, I guess I'd say. Like you have like projectile, or you have an anti-air, or you have like a good lockdown tool, a good lariat, whatever that ends up being. But then you have that assist that they're able to do as them kind of generalized. Think of it as like them coming in from off screen and just doing this one thing and then leaving to continue their fight elsewhere or whatever. And that's kind of where the distinction comes in, is you have your partner, who is your main 2v2 character, who is able to give you more utility and do more things with more freeform, and then you have your kind of extra assists, your extra teammates, who can do things, but they're not as in-depth. And that's kind of how I'm trying to get away from Tokon's thing of having 3 buttons assigned to 3 different assists. I want to try to keep it at 1 assist. You have 1 button for assist, and then you just have different ways of doing that. So you have, like, if you want to call your other assists, you have, like, light plus assist. You have light plus assist and medium plus assist as examples. But I want to try to have a way to find ways to use your other characters without going all in. All right. The macros, D plus A plus C is how you swap dust types. D plus P. I like the idea. You can also maybe just do with your partners double tap P instead. Kind of do like Tag does. Because that game just has A, B, C, D, and P. And then D is how you swap between characters. But anyways, cross combo with semblance and assist. Push block, binding it on light plus medium. Yeah, we'll see. Or we'll see if the game even uses something. But like a defensive mechanic, put it on A plus B. Could be barrier, like if you wanted to have it automatically use like hard light or rock or whatever. If you want to bind some of those, it automatically uses those instead. But this is like A plus B, push block, just your general defensive mechanic. BC is throw, pull that from CF, pull that from tag, that'll work fine. And then have like a dash macro if you want it. Or like this will be some other mechanic. I like the idea of a dash macro. I don't want to have a 5C. I threw that in a long time ago. I think with everything else, you don't really need that. Especially if you're going with four attack buttons, I don't want that really. That's definitely a holdover from last. But I think having a dash macro or another sort of utility macro on like light plus heavy should work fine. All right, go on. This is, I guess, kind of a bit pie in the sky, but I think 2SKO's whole system. Think DBFZ's raid mode. Think Strive's team of 3. It would be really cool to have like each player controlling a character. I think 2v2 is plenty for that, where like maybe you have one character on one round, one player on round 1, one player on round 2, sort of thing. 8v8 would be crazy. Or sorry, 4v4 would be crazy, but doable theoretically. I don't know, maybe a bit much, but I think something like that could be very cool. All right, stages. All right, we're past the mechanic stuff. Now we're on to the pretty shit. So trying to look at like other things in the series, or like other, I guess, games mainly made by Arxis, because that's who I don't know. That just seems right. They already have a history with the series. They're really good. These 2.5D fighters, they look fucking gorgeous. I think you can scale it down to something more like a Grand Blue style, where it still looks beautiful, but it's less intensive on like model like squashing and stretching and tweening and stuff like that, where it's a bit more friendly, I guess. All right. So, different places from there. All right. So, I'm trying to pull different things, have, like, targeting a couple different locations from each area. So, Vacuo, I think you can pull up, Amity or Battleship Amity. This, I think, would probably serve as because it's so versatile, I think you could make this have a couple of variants. Think of it like Blaze Blue's like Coliseum. Think of it like, I don't know, it's something where you have multiple variants of the same stage, where it's the same kind of setting, but you can change out different background elements and change the whole vibe. I think Amity is a fantastic thing, and that's what these sort of top two are here, where it's the big battleship thing. There's also the inside. So I think the top three there, yeah, those are all kind of there. So the thing with Vacuo is, despite it being the main thruster going forward, the problem is the main thrust going forward, which means everything we've seen about it, we haven't actually seen, we've read. Or it's like snippets from other things. So I don't have a lot of actual visuals for some of these. They're just hypothetical things from the books mainly. Like, hey, we're fighting on top of a giant fucking sand turtle. And for that, I just kind of showed the blind worm, dune worm thing from the animatic. Or, hey, yeah, here's the monument for while they were in the Outdraft during Volume 9 from the end of 8. And, yeah, this didn't get animated. This was supposed to be the 9 epilogue, and now it's probably going to become the 10 opener. But that's what these bottom two are from. So we'll see what happens there. But that's kind of why, like, these are kind of smattering. So on top of a giant fucking sand turtle, because Vacuo's wildlife is insane. Hey, that's what the books are for. Stars Dojo, also from the books. Atlas Memorial, from the epilogue. The mine, like an abandoned mine sort of complex, that works really well from here. That's also from the books. The Mirage being, I believe this is a fight club. Yeah, this is a fight club, also from the books. Oscuro Academy, like another thing alongside Shade Academy if you want to go out more in the boonies. Like, there's some other stuff there. So, unfortunately, Vacuo, while also being the main setting, I can't really show a lot of things for it because they're all not made yet. So, basically, I just want to go with you need Amity. So, anything that I showed the green share is like what I kind of think we should go with. Amity is a need it. I think, yeah, having multiple variants of Amity fills things out pretty well and looks really fucking cool. And then just sort of Shade Academy in general. Could be like up on the upper banister. It could be like in the training grounds. Whatever. I think that would work pretty well. All right. Next up, Vale patch. This is where everything started. It's not great shape as of this point in the series, but there's still some cool shit. I think, yeah, destroy beacon, whether it's an Ozdoc office, like just kind of general things on campus, like a lecture hall or a training hall, or just the general campus and whole thing. I think it looks pretty cool. Also, yeah, there will be kinds of spoilers. I'm gonna try to talk around some stuff or not showcase too much, but I mean, it's kind of comes the territory for this. I mean, especially with just kind of the setting I chose. The temple from BB Tag, not shown here, but it's the BB Tag stage. It's the one from the beginning here. There's the red trailer, I think, path, or just patch, the Xiaolong Rose household. That kind of works pretty well, but something about, yeah, like, patch or Summer's Grave looks insanely cool. You can go, like, the general city surrounding. You can go Forever Fall down here, the Red Forest. Looks really cool. The Vanilla State, if you want to go back there, check out Neo's childhood home. Mountain Glen from Volume 2, that whole abandoned place. But I think you don't really need to go back there as much because you have the city itself is now abandoned. So, yeah. I think ultimately, Beacon, you pull one or two from there, I think would work pretty damn well of going back to this place, maybe trying to find some other stuff. Maybe it's like where we go get Thai or whatever, but yeah, I think this can work pretty well as a setting. And then the red trailer is just too iconic. The red trailer is just too iconic. You kind of have to go with that. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful clearing. Yeah. All right, Mistral. The place we spent like 3 seasons at, and there's a lot of different wonders to pick from. So you got the train stage. Here, let me disappear myself quick. Yeah, you got the train stage. I know this is what I'm a little worried about because Edinburgh from Exeter, that train is wild. That's a little ugh. But I think you can do a train stage okay. It's a cool set piece for the beginning there. There's the waterfall from 6. You got the cliff. A lot of this is gonna be from like 4, 5, and 6. This sort of whole era. Yeah, the foggy bridges and the mountain peaks there is phenomenal. Like I think Mistral would just be really good for some like general background vibes. There's a lot of really beautiful stuff and like just kind of mountainscapes and like forests and stuff that can work really well, I think, here. Brunswick Farms, we want to go back there. I don't really see why we would, but it's a cool location. This sort of abandoned farm looking thing. The Bromwell camp, I don't think I have a picture of it, but Yeah, go back and check it on them. Like Matsu, these giant fucking floating islands in the sky and this massive like inland sea could be a really cool backdrop. You have the city itself. Yeah, the city of Mistral itself. You have like the bar down there that Neo and Cinder fought at. You've got the vault down below it. You've got the house TM and the dojo, and just where we spent all the fucking 5 just training. If you want to go like other towns, you've got like you can go Koriyori, Oniyori, Shion, stuff from like either the prequel stuff or just some of those expanded. So this is like Koriyori from the fucking D&D campaign. You got the destroyed villages from 4. Like, there's a lot of things like that you can pull from. There's some really cool just like background stuff. I think there's gonna be a lot of destroyed shit. I think from these stages that I'm pulling from. I didn't actually. Ah, damn. All right, fucked up. I wasn't actually able to pick one. I guess I would go with the rope bridge as my one pick here. I don't know. There's just some. There's maybe the vault. The vault is also a really pretty backdrop. I don't know. I think you just go with cool nature background stuff for this. Atlas. All right. Spoilers. Problem. There's not really anything left to go back to here, unfortunately. So we have the map from the Airfell game up front showing kind of the whole continent, like exaggerated, of course, but like, you've got the mines, you've got like, you've got mines, you've got the lower city of Mantle, you got the upper city of Atlas, you've got military bases, you've got some like stuff out in the boonies that might have survived, or at least they weren't destroyed. Who knows if there's still anyone there. You got some like relics and stuff, or some old like they destroyed ruins and stuff that might work out pretty well. But I think there's some things here that are just too iconic that you want to bring them back, either as like part of a flashback thing in a hypothetical story, or just like, hey, we kind of recreated this sort of vibe within Amity or whatever. So I think the training room could work as that. Like, this is probably the thing that works best as like a fighting game training stage, is the Atlas Academy like training rooms, the VR sort of sim setup. Not like VR, but AR sort of stuff. Yeah, this big room that works out pretty well. Schnee Manor has just some really, really pretty shit. Whether it's the training hall / like dual place from the White trailer, or you have from the Weiss character short, the courtyard in the back, which I think is gorgeous. I love this backyard courtyard thing. There's these like frozen over gardens, or you have the main foyer, which just looks really cool. A lot of things go down in that area there. Or you have so many abandoned mines. I mean, if you want to go crazy too, I don't think it would fit too well with the story. If this is Dream Match, I would absolutely vouch for like a monster battlefield is fucking sick looking. That would be a hell of a background. But I don't think, at least for a base game stage, I don't think that would work too well. Honestly, any of these I'm kind of struggling with as a base game stage. So the one I'm going to pull from is I love the Schnee Manor, like sort of backyard. That courtyard is so beautiful. I love that so much. I love that setting so much. That's the one I pull from Atlas. And other places, well, we got Menagerie, so we got like the Belladonna house. We got kind of the generalized like Kuokawana surroundings. Or you also have the ship that so far is the only one we know of that goes to and from a lot of places. It's the same one that Yang took to get to Mistral. It's the same one that Blake and Sung took to get to Menagerie. You have kind of this generalized cruise ship like in open waters. The Land of Darkness, yeah, Salem's Realm. So you got like the castle itself. You got like, the Groom Pools. There's some cool visuals to be had there. Or you have anything and everything that fucking happened in 9 with whatever the fuck visuals you want to pull from. There's too many. Like from the end of 8, you've got like the centralized like void space. You've got like the MCSRS like fucking castle here. You've got this crazy wild, like lush, very vibrant backgrounds from the forest there. You got the Punderstorm. This is like the Crossroads in particular. You could also go with the Beast scene, but like that is just a cool fucking like this is like a Strive background. This is like that one weird ass Stilty Gear like teleportation doors sort of looking stage from Strive. You got the Origami Acre, you've got the tea house and everything that fucking went down in there. The dining hall in this house would be, I think, a very cool one, but again doesn't really fit with the theme. Or just the tree, which I think is also really damn good. Ultimately, I think you pull from one and from each. The tree as a generalized one is just too good. I didn't want to pull up any shots from the actual thing, but Yeah, that can work pretty well. The castle itself, or just anything kind of heading back there. You gotta go with the tree. I didn't want to show the actual like spot I would take from there probably. I think up top, but I didn't want to showcase, I guess, the fight that happens there too much. The Grim Pools or the cat, you didn't really go either, but I think just kind of the general what the fuck is this place vibe of the continent itself works pretty well. And then the ship, I think, can tie into however the fuck like Ilya and like the White Fang and all the menagerie people, the Neo White Fang and all like the menagerie people get to Vacuo. So I think you can kind of justify that there. Also, just looks pretty. All right, roster building. Nearing the end. Promise. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. All right. Let me get back to OBS. Cool. All right. So I am gonna kind of base this off of the ideology of like watching Thorgy's arcade videos on the Build the Roster series, which I think is really cool. There's a lot of fun ones in there, and I went through and I've watched most of those by now. But basically, base the roster at least should follow the rules of make them kind of like plot relevant. You want a good mix of protagonists and antagonists. You want try to like showcase the series generally and try to pull from as many different corners and don't try to double down too much. I like the idea of trying to make characters showcase who they are now and their abilities now and not necessarily tie them back to like where they were 8 years ago in the series, to try to showcase their full extent. And that roster shouldn't be like outlandishly sized. So we'll go back over here. I targeted, I want to say it was 16. I think I have a 16 character base, which seems like, I think that like 14 to 18 is like the right kind of size for a base roster, 14 to 16. But here is the first picks. So the base roster. I'm not gonna make any surprise here. You need the 4. You just need them. So RWBY, Weiss, Black, and Yang are all in there. Yay, to absolutely nobody's surprise. I'm not gonna go into like how everyone in this is gonna play right now. Oh, sorry. I want to do probably a follow-up video. I was gonna just kind of tie it all in together, and then job stuff happened. So running out of time on that. Stop that. Okay. So for now, I'm just gonna kind of go over who I think and why I think they're a good pick. But the 4, you need the 4. So you have the 4. All right. Good old Vomit Boy. You need Jean here. Just kind of representing. He's one of like RWBY's 2 main foils in the show. So I think he deserves to be there. Maybe he's like a bit of a generic character, a bit more just sword and board, generalized fighter. But everyone kind of uses like Gran. I don't know. This kind of works out pretty well. Oh no. It's a. My brother bought this like smart webcam a while back. Here, let me see if I can. So it just like auto tracks me. It's like tries to follow your face around. It's a bit weird. I can turn it off, but it is kind of useful. I don't know. It also like only powers on whenever I use OBS, or like I tell it to turn on. It's not. You normally just like often dangling down. Hi. All right. Anyway, so yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It works when you have like 2 people streaming at the same time, and it kind of like tries to auto adjust and focus. I don't know. I like it. All right, so Jean, he deserves to be here. Maybe a bit basic, but I like him. I think the guy's in here. Speaking of the best boys, the best boy, the one with the coolest fighting style in the entire fucking show. You need Gunchucks. You need Sun. He's gonna be coming back into relevance. He's at the very end of the first book, spoiler, and he's like a mainstay of the second book. He's from Vacuo. He's in Vacuo. He's a big player going forward. We've already like seen him in the Volume 9 Beyond shorts, in one of the Volume 9 Beyond shorts. So we already know he's there. He's gonna be relevant going forward, and he's the fucking bro, and he looks sick as fuck. Like he has one of my favorite fighting styles of all time. Like Gunchucks plus staff is just fucking dope. So yeah, he's in. He's absolutely in. All right, it might be a bit weird doubling up on Shneeze already. It might be a bit weird having the older sis already in here, but I think she uses glyphs differently enough. Yeah, 1 second. Let me. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you go ahead.
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know if you go downstairs or not.
I'm going downstairs, but
Go ahead.
I can crawl down. I gotta get my stuff first.
Okay.
It's fine. Go ahead.
All right. I think she uses Glyphs differently enough. She has a different power set enough, especially post 7 and how we are now in the sort of thing since. She's also just fucking dope. She's a bit more militaristic, a bit more rigid, a bit more cutthroat. I think she goes really, really well. I think there's some really cool things you can go with her sort of fighting style. The going in between 1 and 2 swords thing is sick. All the summons are fucking sick. The maiden powers are fucking sick. Like I think she's such a versatile type of character, at least fighting style wise, that I think she fits this build pretty well. Also, yeah, we know she's there. Nora, speaking of characters, we know her there. Hello. We got our second member of Juniper in here so far. She's okay. Nora's never been like my favorite character, but I love her. She's awesome. Like, I'm not even gonna say she never like cracks my top 10 list whenever I think about stuff, but she's awesome, and she just hits things really hard. She has a fucking grenade launcher warhammer. She's funny as all get out. Like, she's just kind of crazy. If you want to bring in more like the chibi personality, then you get some crazy hijinks going on. She's just a bundle of energy, and she's great. Yeah, no, get her in here. All right. Also this artifacting and stuff. Oh, yeah, so Crow. Speaking of the bros, best uncle, like just is. Yeah, he's in there. Best sad boy. Sorry about the artifacting on the white stuff. I think that came from because I started this in slides, and then I moved in Google Slides and moved it over to LibreOffice, and so I think it's some artifacting from swapping that over. But I didn't have time to fix that, so here we are. All right, so Crow, the other scythe user, who's just dope as fuck. I think there's so many cool things you can do with this stuff here. You can do, like, I mean, you want to get like fly unfly cancels. We can do that too. Like, this man gets some crazy shit going on. He's stylish as all get out. He just rules shit. I don't know. Like, he's just dope as fuck, and he's also there. So, 2 points. That's just points in his favor. I like him. I remember also when, because I'll go back through and I want to see if I can remember who was, because there's the BB tag like leak list, which might have been just be done to throw people off. But there's also like the actual like popularity result poll, and also like the internal poll and like who Mori wanted sort of thing. And I'll go back through all those who like kind of I think would have had a shot at making the tag when that game was still in development. Necro base roster, yeah. We need some more like angst. So that's where we're getting Winter in it. Winter, we need like Winter's a bit older. Like she's like 20 somethings. So we get a little bit older from there. But no, we need our 40-year-old depressed alcoholic or formerly alcoholic like best uncle. Yeah, we need the best agent. But I mean, if we have our best agent, then why not the guy who was like protecting him, or who he's protecting? Oscar, as like just kind of like a really plot central character, and like there's things with the staff that I think you can do some crazy shit with, and I don't know. Like, I'm really excited to see how they play with the merger going forward, I guess, like narratively, but combat wise, like he's at the center tactician at kind of everything going forward. He's been kind of the center of things. He's capable enough on his own in a fight. He's adapting to things well. He's got like the 6th highest power ceiling in the series or whatever. Like he's got some stuff. He's got some stuff. I think he can be the as much as the Oscar Protection Squad has failed this kid over the years. Damn, we did not do a good job with that back in fucking 5, 6, 7, or 8. Damn, we sucked at that shit. That might be fucking fire that whole Protection Squad. We suck at our jobs, but I think he can do some cool shit. But one thing yet. So looking at this, we've had too many protagonists. We've had too many good boys and girls. We need to balance that out a little bit. And who better than just the fucking madman, the serial killer, just the one, the Queen's chaotic knight. We gotta get Tyrion in here. So I think there's gonna be a bit of some surprises with some of my picks, I think. But Tyrion, we know that he was sent to Vacuo to fuck some shit up. We know he's there already from the animatic. He could have some, like, his poison effects could be fucking crazy. His semblance usage of, like, being able to tear through, like, auras and deal direct damage. There can be some crazy shit done with that. His weapons are really fun. He is just, like, he's one of my favorite, like, insane people in fiction. I don't know. Like, he's just, I love to hate him, if that makes sense. I love to hate this man. He's fucking crazy. He has no redeeming qualities. He's awesome. He's just insane. I love him for that. And, well, if you're going with the leader, you might as well go with the one who he's kind of tasked with overseeing and helping out right now. We got Mercury. We got as our sort of second antagonist pick here. Mercury is maybe not wanting to be there so much anymore, but, I mean, we haven't really seen his kick style since 5. There's a little shot of it in 6, but we haven't seen him fight too much in a while. Dude's cool, like kind of the brooding, like edgy teenager guy, but who's now realizing that, oh, maybe I don't want to be here too much. There's some cool stuff to be done with that. But if we get Mercury, I gotta show my hand there. We gotta get Emerald. Our reformed, we got our reformed Aladdin here. We've got there could be some trickery going on. I think mainly I think it'll be like through the form of clones and stuff. You can kind of go with like Neo's BB tag route, or maybe like Hibiki from CF's route of some teleport shenanigans of which one's actually real. I guess like Faust's Scarecrow kind of works for that too, or Faust's Door kind of works for that too. But Kunai on Chain is fucking cool. You can get, I think I could kind of foresee her being almost the Axel like, where you have like she has guns, and those guns are also fucking Axel's weapons. So good luck getting in, I guess, and also she can like fuck with your head. So good luck hitting her. Good luck getting in. She could be really fucking annoying, but that's kind of the good showpiece of a good zoner. I think she's a very good zoner candidate. Coco. We gotta get some coffee rep. We have to get some coffee rep. Coco is very cool. She is not my favorite member of the team. She's not my favorite member of the team. She might actually be my third favorite member of the team, like from the books. But she is dope as fuck. She is unironically hype, which not even like in an ironic way. That's what her ability is called. Her ability is hype. She basically like overcharges dust and shit and makes it do more damage, and like makes it more volatile and makes it do more damage and go faster and bigger explosions and shit like that. And that's why she can rip through a fucking Nevermore in 2 shots. It's because she just makes her bullets stronger, which is kind of funny. Yeah, no. Kind of like mixed up Gold Lewis, and I don't know who you like fights using a fucking handbag, but just dope. Yeah. Yeah, we have to, if we're going back to Vacuo, we got to get some coffee rep. So that's where we get Sun in there, we get Coco in there, we know Tyrion and Mercury are there. Like everyone here so far is in Vacuo. Let's keep that going. So, Marie P4. Thank you. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Spicy. That's right. Okay. Now, you may be wondering, who the fuck is this? That's a fair question. That's a very fair point. This is a character who was introduced in the first novel and came back in the second novel. She is a like minor antagonist kind of thing. Also potentially Coco's love interest sort of thing. Carmen Esclados is very fucking cool. And I want to say she mainly makes her power's like telekinesis, but mainly for small things. So she mainly uses it for like grains of sand and like creating like dust devils and like blinding people, making small sandstorms, shit like that. I think she fills out kind of that niche of not villain, but just like little shit. I don't know how else to describe that. Introduction character in the books, sick fucking design. This is only part of it. She's the only character. She's one of 2 characters now who were book only who actually have art done of them. The other one being Professor Theodore, the head of the academy down there. He gets something in the Volume 9 Beyond shorts where you get to see his design officially. He looks pretty cool too. But this is done for Amy Arena, so this art's been around for a while. She's, I think, very cool potentially. Not as like a true villain, but kind of just like that little shit antagonist sort of thing. / rival to Coco. Could work pretty well. Her like double size. I think that's what her stuff was. I think she like uses double size. And our final pick here is a character we don't actually know the name of. So I'm just going to refer to her as the Summer Maiden, because that's who we've been led to believe she is. This is a screenshot from the Vale 9 Beyond shorts. There's 4 of those. They're like little epilogue things. But this is the last of the maidens we don't know of. She is almost certainly going to be incredibly important to the story going forward. This is like one of the key characters for whatever's next. We don't know a single thing about her other than that she is probably the Summer Maiden. If you know what that means, then you know what that means. But she's here, and this is all we've seen of her, is this lady in a cloak. Don't know. So you might notice that there is one spot left. And I do want to preface that I think this is actually the base roster. This is who I think kind of fits everything here. I think we got a good spread of, like, we got the main 4. We have some of the like longer, they like some returning characters. Like fucking Coco hasn't been in something since 3, or hasn't been in the show proper since 3. Sun hasn't been in the show proper since 6, really 5. Tyrion's, yeah, we got some stuff, people from later on. We got people from upcoming stuff. We got people from side content. We kind of run the gambit here. Maybe not quite as many true antagonists I'd like. We only got 3. If we're gonna go reformed antagonists, then you get 4, and then you got an unknown. So you got some stuff going on there. But there is one more slot that I'm not counting as like a true character, but like a function, if that makes sense. And this is, I'm gonna pull from something that came in later in Vanilla Granblue's life, where we have a random select character, and the random select character is, well, if you know, then you're gonna know. It's the best one is Velvet, my favorite member of Team Coffee, because her whole thing is that she has like photographic memory, and she can perfectly replicate anything that she sees. So her main fighting style is that she just makes hard-light copies of things she takes pictures of, and copies people's weapons. She takes pictures of people's weapons, makes physical like replicas of them. She like burns through them every time she uses them, but she can make physical weapons of them, and then copy their fighting style exactly. And she might not be as strong as they are, and she can't copy their powers, but she can copy their fighting style, and copy it perfectly. And she's really fucking good at that. So I think you can kind of, yeah, UBW, exactly. I think she is a sick sort of random select character, where you still use her model, but whatever, like you can use her like kind of base thing. I don't think you change her like physical proportions to match like other people's. She's slightly on the smaller side, but I think you kind of just fudge it with, you pick her, then you know that you're taking on the properties of whoever you end up getting, and then it's gonna look a bit weird, but she's kind of a joke character anyways. I don't know. But she can then copy the fighting style and the weapons of anybody. But then I think you get that maybe at the cost of losing semblance, or just for gameplay's sake, we just say you get it anyways, and it's just a kind of visual thing. I think so, yeah. Like, I'm trying to, I'd have to look up because I know later on in Granblue Vanilla's life, they added a character who was the random select function sort of thing, and it worked slightly differently. Yeah, it's not like Shadow either from Darkstalkers. It's not like that, where it's like you take over whoever. But no, I think it's just purely for a vision. Because not gonna lie, I just wanted a way to get Velvet in here, and I think she's sick, and she is my favorite member of the team, and one of my favorite characters in the show. She's like in my top 8, I think, characters in the series. I wanted to get her in here. I think that's a very kind of fun way to do it. This is a character whose main thing is copying other people's fighting styles and copying their weapons. So why not make her the character who can just kind of do all that? I don't know. All right, so some talking points here. Yeah, so everyone here we know is in Vacuo, at least by the end of 8/9, or we've already seen them for their in the sort of prequel stuff for 10. Characters here, we have people introduced at literally every point in the series except for introduced in 9, which makes sense. 9 of these 16 have been there since the very beginning. Like, we have 4 members. There's 4 members of RWBY. We have Velvet was also in Volume 1. Jean is there too. Nora, Sun, and am I blanking? Oh wait, no, I did. Never mind. I changed something. So this is wrong. It's now 8. I did make a swap. I made a swap. But we have characters that have been there mostly. Like, half the roster has been here from the beginning. A lot of them have been introduced from like every point in the series. We have characters from every era. We have characters from every like landmass on the planet, every kingdom. We have people covering the fucking gambit here. So now, though, the second part of roster building from the Thorgy School of Thought. I didn't finish this, did I? Fuck. Okay. So the base roster is where you establish your rules, and your DLC is where you can break them. You don't want to shatter them. You don't want to just completely dish them aside, but this is where you can bend the rules. This is where you want to bring in characters who could be gone. If you wanted to, you bring in guest characters. This is also like where you can do, I don't know, it's more fun and out there stuff. You want to, things that don't fit your main narrative, but you can do your own fun side stuff with them. All right, so here is our base roster. I'm trying to remember where to put myself here. I'll do here. This works fine. Hello, Mercury. All right. So the way I set this up is 2 different 5. So I got 10 DLC characters, 5 per season. Doesn't really fit the 4 motif of the series, but I don't know. I wanted to get 1 extra character on each of these. So first of all, let me see if I can remember. Okay, you. Okay, cool. All right, first up, she was missing from the beginning, only because we don't know that she's gonna be in 10. We know she's gonna be there for the end of the series, and she is the longest running fucking antagonist of the entire thing. So she has to be in here somewhere. But I didn't think she fit the criteria of the base roster because she's not. We know she's around. We know she's kicking. We know she's gonna be important, very important. But we don't. She's not there for 10 that we know of yet. So Cinder, I think, got put to the DLC. But I think she works a lot. I think she works really well. Again, like, hey, we get another maiden in there. We get some more fucking crazy powers. You want like an Azula kind of function? If you're looking at Avatar, here, you got your Azula type sort of thing. You got your like flying with fire. You've got like breathing fire. You've got like setting up traps. You got like fucking throwing glass. You got some crazy stuff you can do with her. If you want to dial it back, you want to bring in some fucking bow and arrow attacks, you can get that shit going too. Like, I think she deserves to be in here, and she like you can pull. She's so far gone. She's so crazy now too. Yeah, she's very different from how she was. We also don't know how. Like she's so power hungry. She's the most power hungry fucking character. I just didn't think she fit the criteria of the base roster, but she's such a staple. She is the other foil. So like, RWBY's main foils being Jean and Cinder, kind of like they are a reflection of each other, sort of things. She deserves to be in here, but I don't think she needed the base spot. Number 2. Hi, this is me being selfish. Hi, it's me. I'm putting my second favorite character in the fucking game. Thank you. Yay. So we are breaking the bringing back characters rule for whatever. Also, just because mechanically, you're looking at a mixture of a Murakumo and like Fatista. Like this is another fucking crazy mobility zoner who can do kind of whatever. You get fucking laser blasts, you get sword strikes, you get gunshots, you get flight, you get like sword dance shit. Like she is so fucking cool with what you can go with here. Yeah, and she's also just awesome. I don't know. I love Penny, so Penny's in. I don't have much other justification for that. Don't have to deal with Dark Phoenix right away because that feels like what she kind of would be. Yeah, I don't know about Resurrect. I think you go a bit slower. I think Azula from Avatar might be a closer pick from what I'm envisioning there. But yeah, you want to say I'm not gonna lie. I saved some pretty heavy. I saved the weirdos and the heavy hitters for this. Like I think in here's where I put a lot of the like fan favorites. Yeah, Cinder. I figured that's what you meant. I'm saving like the weirdos and the heavy hitters for the DLC. Of like yes, they deserve to be here, but they didn't really fit my criteria. So I think there's gonna be some kind of notable ones in here. I'll actually go through like some alt picks I had. Oh, guess gonna go. All right. Okay, so Penny, yes, she's in here. Next up, Ren. I mean, he's the other like member still around. We got to get Ren going in there. Like I don't want to sound like a hater, but I initially had him in the base roster and I had to pull him out because I just don't like. I do like Ren, and like my youngest brother would hate me if I said this, but I like he is my least favorite of the Juniper crew, absolutely. And that's the thing. I don't think he's not cool, but he's just like, yeah. I don't like his weapon. I think his weapon is kind of just like really underpowered on the show. His martial arts haven't really been a thing since like really early on. Like he deserves to be in, but like I don't know. Like his semblance doesn't really work against people, if that makes sense. Like his semblance isn't useful in a fighting game context at all. Like I guess you could do like calm and maybe make that for like faster meter generation, or you could tweak it, or like make it like a bit harder to detect. But it doesn't. His ability doesn't work for people. His ability works on monsters. It doesn't work on people, like explicitly. So, fuck. But I think he deserves to be in there. Kind of like a diet version of Emerald almost, where you kind of like pull yourself in, you get the chain going in. I just think Stormflower is a cool looking weapon. I just don't think it's ever really been the most useful. But I need to put him in there. I do need to put him in there. All right, number 4. Bit of a weird ball. I like Hazel a lot. I guess also looking at this, I guess we have like kind of a bruiser. We have bruisers in like Yang and Nora. But we don't really have like a dedicated like grappler, I guess, is how I'd put that. Like you can maybe go with the command grab stuff on you could like make a command grab stuff on some characters, but Hazel is here to be the grappler. Hazel is here to be the big body. Hazel is here to be the guy to fuck you up. He is the armored character. He gets armor not because he's like clad. He doesn't have like shields. He doesn't have like other shit. He's just fucking running through you and he doesn't feel shit. Like he has no pain. So he's gonna attack you. He's gonna keep going until you're done, until you're gone, or you kill him. That's it. He's also a G. Like I like Hazel a lot. I love him in 8 especially, but I think he deserves to be in here. As like a big part of it is that mechanically I think is a good switch up, but I like that idea. I don't know. I like that idea. So I think Hazel deserves to be in here. And rounding out season 1, is there ever fucking doubt? Like she is the other one who got in the fighting game. She's the other one in Baby Tag already. She's smug as fuck. She is like one of the most charismatic people in the entire series. Like there's people I know who fucking hate the show who she is like their favorite character. Shout out to the Spine. But like it works so well. She is so smooth in everything she does. You get the clones, you get the teleports, you get all this weird cool visual shit that just rocks and looks awesome. I think she can go pretty far with that. Not a surprising pick, and honestly, just because she's in limbo story wise, she is the Deus Ex Machina for whatever the fuck happens next. So we'll wait and see on that. But I think she fits incredibly well. All right, so that's her first bit. Now see if rearrange things a little bit, try to balance out the visuals. Yeah. Neapolitan ice cream, pretty good. Especially if you get Neapolitan ice cream where the strawberry itself also has strawberries in it, that's the top tier shit. Oh, Cat's freaking out again. That's the stuff that I think is really, really cool. So, hey, yeah, Neapolitan's good. All right, season 2. So, we got another 5 slots here. Let's see. Yeah, you kind of have to round out the team. Hi. Bye. Ignore her. She's being funny. You have to round out the team. Like you have to. It's yeah. I don't care that it's been 10 years. You need it. She deserves to be in here. Absolutely. Oh right, did I? I did do that weird, didn't I? Okay. Raven. So this actually rounds out. We now have all 4 maidens in here. So I think this rounds out all 4 of. Let's see. There's now 5 of the 6 serious magic users, like true magic users, are in here, which I think fits pretty well. Raven just bouncing off a crow. You can get some really cool shit. Yeah, serial mascot for real. Love. We love Pyrrha for being the serial mascot for the cereal. The mascot for the cereal she doesn't eat. Yeah, no, we gotta get her in here. This is the DLC seller. Raven being just probably the character I'm most intrigued for how she's going. She's the character I'm most looking forward to in 10 for how she's gonna interact with certain characters. Like, how's she gonna interact with Yang? How is RWBY gonna confront her? How is how is she gonna fit in with the vibe of everyone? How's she been getting along with Crow? How is she fitting into this, like, not redemption arc, because she's still like a bad person, but she's like a bad person on the same scale as like Carmine, or a little bit worse than Carmine, and not by and not on like the level of like the true like heinous people in this sort of in the show. So I like the portals. You can do some really funny stuff with assist wise. I think you can. You'd have to do it only with assists, like just mechanically, but I think there's some really cool stuff that you've done there. I don't know, just badass. Just badass bitch who don't give a fuck. She can work out pretty well. Alright, number 3. Okay. I don't like this guy. I don't like Adam. Fuck this guy. But I have to say he has, I think, maybe the so when the BB tag like leaks were coming out and like people were speculating who might be coming before we knew it was Neo, Adam was the character I was most torn of between. I would have to play mechanically, even though I fucking hate him, and he is one of the very few characters I can think of that would bridge that gap for me, where an Iaido plus gun character who can like absorb and an Iaido plus gun character with a parry, like fuck, or like at least like a absorption stance. I hate that everything he does combat wise is so fucking cool, because I fucking hate this man. But he does everything that's fucking sick combat wise, and he is really integral to like, well, let's see here, at least 2. He's integral to 2 characters plots here, and then also shows up in like another 4 other ones. So he's been around. As much as I hate to give it to him, I kind of gotta give it to him. I don't like saying that, but I think I do. I think I gotta give it to him. Number 4. So, Robin is actually a character that I had initially in the base roster. I swapped her in Carmine because I don't know. I felt like we needed another Atlas / like volume 7 and 8 rep, because she is known to be still around. She's still chilling with Crow. There's like possibilities that those two might end up together or whatever. I don't know. But like she's still involved in Crow's storyline. She's still involved in the overall storyline. Her fighting style is kind of cool. I like the bracer like crossbow sort of thing, and more like hand to hand sort of focused. I don't know. She feels like she's a pretty good assist character. You can't really use her semblance for too much there. You could go with like some I don't know. You could maybe do like a truth or fiction like command grab thing, and like do some like you could do like a lie detector command grab thing and do some fun stuff with that. She is a character who I think is of this most susceptible to the alt picks I have, and I got a couple slides of like alt picks of who I think could work pretty well otherwise, but Robin I think would work pretty well as far as being like the leader of the huntresses, of the happy huntresses, being a really like the mantle rep, because we have like some Atlasian reps, but she's not really, she's like the first mantle rep, I guess we could do. Yeah. And the final one, we got the Weirdo. You can swap this out for another Weirdo pick. You could take another Weirdo and put him in instead. I'm going with the Hound. The Hound is my favorite thing from 8. Like, in general. The Hound is, like, what got me interested in the potential of Summer's storyline. Like, got me invested in the like, potential of Summer's storyline. It got me to give a fuck about Silver-Eyed Warriors again. It got me, like, this fucking thing, this dog man hybrid fucking bat thing is one of the coolest creatures in the show. Is probably the coolest creature in the show. I love this thing so much. Like, you want to go, which form do you want to go with? Are you going like full canine? Are you going like bipedal canine? Are you going with wings? Like, how do you want to depict it? Are you like switching forms to do certain forms or different moves? It's fucking horrifying. It's relentless. It's very cool. It's smart. It's my favorite Grim, at least. It's my favorite Grim. I love the Hound. I think the Hound works pretty fucking well. And there we go, 26/27 characters total. Pulling from every genre, pulling from different fan favorites and stuff. I think this will work pretty well. Again, like, I kind of want to do a hypothetical like move, not like a full move list of like this goes a 5A, 5B, 5B, 5C, 2C, J, B. Here's a special, here's a special, here's a super. I don't want to do that sort of thing. But I want to hopefully eventually do like a Merkava but a dog. Yes, Merkava but not always with wings. Merkava but can like get down and run at you instead. Merkava but not a zoner, if that makes sense. Merkava but short arms. Merkava is actually good. Yeah, I don't know. Like I wanted some sort of like either grim pick or like just kind of non-humanoid pick at least, and the Hound was like my favorite of those. I think the Hound can work pretty fucking well. But we got some alt picks. We got some potential alt picks. So I've got this down into a couple different categories. I think we have plot relevant. We have like fan favorite characters, either who have cool fighting styles, are also plot relevant, or are like not in the show anymore. I got weirdos, and I think I've got just like some general alts too. All right, so plot relevant. First off. All right, again, you might be asking, who the fuck is this guy? This is Professor Theodore. This is the headmaster of Shade Academy. This is basically the Merkava John Talbane. Yes, it's fucking good. I'll find out a way to fucking download this chat and figure it out. Anyways, just kind of like, if you want a boxer dude, this is a boxer dude. This is just Joe Boxer. He's cool. Yeah, this is your Dudley. Man's pretty cool. I think he can work out pretty well, and he's going to be very important, I think, going forward. Glinda, fan favorite returning. This is her from one of the movies, but like, just she hasn't been around for a while. She's a telepath. She's got some cool shit. She's kind of a boss. She can handle things pretty well. If you want like a witch sort of character, you got that. I'd have to put them both in here. The rest of Team Coffee, you got Fox and Yatsu. If you've never read the books, you might be wondering why Fox is in here. Fox is fucking awesome. Fox is a telepath. So Fox doesn't talk because Fox is talking to his teammates in his head. He's great. He's a smart, cracking, wise ass. He's awesome. And Yatsu is just like the gentle giant. Yeah, they're both really cool. I mean, I shout out the other two members of Coffee. I gotta get the other members in here too. Like, they're also battling around in there. They're really cool. I like these guys. Next up, all right. So this is, I wanted Zwei in the game, but I don't want to put Zwei by himself. So make Zwei a combo character, like a puppet character. Not even like a puppet, but just like a dual character with either Oobleck or Taiyang. Either or, I would rather it be Tai, because I have a feeling he's gonna be coming back in and actually see what the fuck he does. Oobleck would be cool, just as Volume 2 like train throwbacks would be awesome, and like their dynamic is really cool. But let me see like 4-year-old man and his dog. Yeah, Ken P4A, but a depressed 4-year-old man. Or Ken P4A, but a hyperactive, like, 35-year-old professor. Like, either of these work pretty well. This is Ken from P4A, but it's actually Junpei from P4A. Just fucking hit the shit out of the park. I'm launching my dog at you. Fucking die. Both of those work pretty well. Next up, I mean, we got Oobleck, we got Port. We've seen him. I think he's kind of lower down, but I figured, like, if we're bringing out a professor, I like the Blunderbuss Battle Axe. I like his bravado. I don't know. He's definitely, of these, he's definitely lower down. We've seen him in the animatic. We know he exists around for 10, but he can work. I think on this slide, though, he's going to be my lowest down on this slide. All right. Ilya. Ilya is one of my favorite, like, supporting characters, I'd say. And with everyone kind of meeting up, I think she could do some cool shit. I think her like, whip sword works pretty well. I don't think we know her semblance. I think it's just like she has like her camouflage ability is pretty cool too. I think just a solid pick. You can do some fun stuff with Ilya there, or Neptune. Spoilers. I didn't put either Sage or Scarlet on here. I just don't give a fuck about either of them enough. They are two like just not enough characters. Even in the second book, they don't show up very much. But Neptune's kind of just funny. Neptune's just a funny guy. I like him. Just a goober. Good. He's a good goober. I mean, as well. Yeah. There's some. You got your rifle. You got your like trident. You can do some stuff with that. And lastly, all right, another who the fuck is this character? Here we have on our left is Jillian, on the right is Jax Asterius. These are two book characters. These are like minor antagonists who are from Carmine from the base roster. These are her bosses. They're led like a revolution sort of thing. He can mind control people, and she can like take aura from one person and give it to another, like permanently, until like they die or you give it back. So she can like siphon aura and give it to someone else, and then he can control minds. They had this whole fucking like plot to take over the country again thing. Kind of cool. Like those books. But yeah, they could work in this for the animatic. We know that they are like gonna be brought back in. All right, Twitter favorites. Here we get people who aren't really important, but are cool, or are important, but like two above the scope. The biggest bad. The baddest bitch, if you will. Salem is in here, because of course Salem is in here. I had trouble not putting her in the base roster because she's gonna be like, she had her time in the sun and now she's retreated and she's waiting again to just fuck everything up again. Because who's gonna stop her? No one's stopped her yet. Who's gonna stop her yet? So, yeah. There is the strongest magical user in the series. Probably like overall smartest person, the one who's had the longest time to scheme things. We get bad bitch in here. Speaking of bad bitches, all right, the Grim Reaper Maria Calavera, presently, like an old woman who can hold her own, who's actually like she's the only person, she's on the very very short list of characters who have beaten Neo in a fight, and that's old lady Maria. I showed like back in the stages for Mistral, I showed like her on the bridge against the Nevermore. All right, skip my head. I'll do that in a minute. The Grim Reaper fight scene is like one of the boss you fight in arcade mode who's too cracked to be a playable character. Absolutely on Salem, yes. Like there, you want to talk about like zoning magic or bullshit. I don't want to deal with like fucking Palpatine lightning and doing all this other weird shit and like grabbing you with tendrils and shooting you with like pure energy and all this other fucking shit. And she's healing all the time. And no matter what you do, like you can her boss mechanic would be you stun her, and then like you deal enough damage to stun her, and then you have to keep dealing damage, and she's healing up the entire time, and then you have to like build up to try to just do too much fucking damage at once to blow her away. Anyways, yeah, there'd be some fun stuff with that as a boss mechanic. I like that idea. I hadn't thought about that, but arcade boss, absolutely. She is the final boss of the arcade. Yeah, absolutely. She's the secret boss of the arcade because we're not there yet. Like she's like, you shouldn't be here. Why the fuck are you here? Sort of thing. But Maria, do yourself a favor if you haven't. I don't care if you don't give a fuck about this series. Just go and watch this. I think it's from 6.6. I think it's 6.6 or 6.7. It's from the Grim Reaper, from Volume 6. Maria versus Maria versus the Nevermore. Look at something like that. Or just that fucking fight scene is sublime, and I love it so fucking much. Yeah, that's why is that fight. Maria is very cool as the Grim Reaper. All right, this one, another tandem. Got to pull up both these. One or the other, Neon or Flint. Again, the rest of the team don't give a fuck. I'm not pulling up Cobalt. I'm not pulling up Ivory. But these two could be very fun. I just don't think they're a little too Scrimblow, I think, if that makes sense. They're not going to be in the limelight, but they could both be very fun. And their fight from 3 is fucking sick. Yeah, they both could do some good stuff. All right. I knew I had to put in an Aesop. Because Winter kind of counts. And that's why I didn't want to put any of the other ones in. And I'll explain this a bit more later. But I think Harriet would be the one to make the most sense of any of them. Because I think if you're talking about like most well-liked, it's either her or Marrow. But I think her semblance is more just straightforward and how you could use it. Whereas Marrow's like, it's cooler. But the problem is like once he moves, or like once he like focuses on something else, he can't do it. Marrow is a very close other pick. I'll get to this in another slide. But generally another Aesop. But if you're gonna do an Aesop, it's either Harriet or Marrow. We'll show that for now. Speaking of military guys, we got Ironwood. Metal, semblance wise, isn't exactly the best thing for that. Metal's a confusing thing that doesn't really make a ton of sense, I guess. But gun due process is fucking cool. The man, he's a cyborg. He's badass. Like, I don't know. You can do some cool shit. He hits things really hard. He shoots them in the face really well. I don't know. He's got some cool shit. All right. Volume 6 Adam Short version of Sienna. You can pull out enough stuff to extrapolate a moveset. For a character who has, I think, a total of like 5 minutes of screen time, maybe, Sienna Khan would be fucking dope. Fucking chain dagger whip, really fucking cool, dope ass design. Get some more fondness rep in the whole in the game, because we got some but not a ton. I think she could do really cool things, but again, she's just like, she's not in there. She's a dope design with a cool fighting style who just doesn't have a ton to pull from, and who just isn't relevant to the story anymore. So I think that's why she's here. You could do some cool things, but I don't think she's there yet. The boy, the little shit. For a man who never had a power, he is fucking dope. He is a wise-cracking sack of shit who's great. Torchwick has to be in there. You get Neo, like, at the very least, you can have some references to him. I don't know. Torchwick's in there. Talk about a character kind of like Sienna, who's only been there for about, like, well, actually, I think she was in there for like 2 minutes, minute and a half. It's a minute and a half it's a 1 minute long fight, minute 15 long fight. But yeah, she's in the show for less than 2 minutes. That is a fucking dope 2 minutes. From the same fight scene as Maria, very cool. The ability of invulnerability would be, I think, a little too cracked. Of just 1 minute, you can't do damage. I think she's another like sub boss or arcade boss sort of thing where, yeah, actually, Spicy, I'm going off your idea of having arcade bosses. Salem is the final secret boss. Talk is like a stage boss, but Talk is you can't actually damage her. You just have to survive for a minute, sort of thing. Like, she's gonna do whatever, and you can't do shit back until the end of that minute, and then you can kill her in one hit. But that's a cool boss design. I don't know, like that's like a good like training style boss. Of just, she's gonna do some bullshit. Can you not fuck up for a minute? Watt's kind of a similar fighting style to Ironwood, but a bit more, I don't know, conniving. You can get some like hacker stuff going in there. Yeah, parry challenge type boss. Yeah, she'd be fun. Yeah, Watts, I don't think you go with the move. Spoilers for the second movie. Actually, more spoiler worthy than the first movie. I already fucked that first movie, but the second movie actually spoiler worthy. Kinda. I don't think you go with that version of him. You go with the fucking just like a normal hacker man with fucking like pinfire revolver sort of style thing. Very kind of smart me guy. He can work pretty well with that. But again, less. I think there's other characters in here I'd rather see on that. And Amber get the first like, I don't know, if you're bringing back a maiden who had a full fight scene, who wasn't Freya, because Freya works, but she made a nice tornado and that's kind of it. So I think you go with the character who actually had like a fight scene around her, and that was a pretty dope fight scene. Another character who has like 3 minutes of screen time, pretty good 3 minutes of screen time. She has a move set you can come from. All right, Weirdos. So far, like in the base roster, or in the game, I had the Hound. Who else do we got? All right, Somewhat and Juniper. So a couple of these are gonna be from 9, because 9 has some good fucking weirdos in it. There's some weird fucking characters in there. Mainly, I see this kind. I'm blanking their character's name, but like the girl on the wolf, sort of thing. There's another like tandem character. You're gonna have Somewhat doing some sword stuff, but it's mainly gonna be Juniper like doing charges and shit like that. I don't know. I kind of like just the idea of Jackalope as a fighter. Jackalope and a little rodent steed, or like a rodent rider. I don't know. Can work. He has some Ferritor stuff going on there too. I don't know. Could be fun. The ultimate, like, not even like potential woman, just I don't fucking know, but I want to sort of thing. Of, she's a total unknown here. We don't know how she fights. We know what her weapon is now, but we've never seen her fight. We've seen 0 fight scenes with her in it. We just now know what her weapon is and where like grown up design is now, along with her like original design. But Summer, if you can figure out what the fuck she does, could do some cool shit with that. Similarly, on characters we don't fucking know about, CL. We haven't seen her since 3. The show makes a joke about it in 9 of, hey, we don't know what the fuck happened to her. We don't know what happened to her at all. We don't know how she fights. She was Penny's teammate. All we saw was Penny beat the shit out of people instead. And then she's just kind of there. The little, Pinocchio and the cricket. I forget the cricket from Pinocchio. I'm sorry I'm blanking on that, but just, I don't know. She could be kind of fun. Just another unknown character who's been waiting in the wings for fucking 10 years. All right. True Weirdos. I don't know if you want to do this as a stance character. I don't know if you want to do this as the merger with Neo. I don't know if you want to do it as the Monster Cat. I don't know if you just want to do them as the cat. Curious / the Curious Cat, the Monstrous Cat, Neo Cat, however you want to call them. This fuck ass cat that I hate, I think could work out really well. They're just cool. Their design is fucking phenomenal, and I if I'm remembering right, they had to, like, when RT was making 9, they had to design, they had to change their entire like modeling and After Effects and like effects work pipeline for them because the cat just fucks stuff up too much. Because they have no outline. They don't look 3D. They just look fucking weird. I don't know. The cat is fucking cool. As far as like other 9 characters, the Jabberwocker could work. I think the cat's a better pull. But as far as like other just like monstrous beastly creatures, I think the moveset might be too. I mean, if you're talking about Merkava, this is Merkava without stretchy arms. You can go something there. All right, other weirdos. So we've taken out 9. We've taken out main series. Other fucking weirdos. We're busting out Ice Queen and we're going to fucking dream states now. All right, Nightmare Weiss and pairing with her Nightmare Blake. These weird hyper-powered versions of these characters that may or may not have actually existed. Who, like, Weiss is the ruler of this realm and just does whatever the fuck she wants and just goes crazy on the power scaling for no fucking reason and is just going insane is really cool. And just full, like, white fanged out Blake who looks like Adam and just is ruthless and just going after it. That I think could work out pretty well. Another Ice Queen character. We get in a total unknown. We get Weiss's grandpa. We get good old Nicholas Schnee. We get good old Saint Nick. Don't think we know what his armor looked like. He looks like fucking Nightmare from Soul Calibur. Like, but apparently just a good dude. Like, this is just a good guy. Dude, we don't know how he fought. Presumably with glyphs. If you want another glyph user who's not like a crazy version of who's not like as crazy as like Ice Queen and Weiss, but just more sort of bruiser, you could do some cool stuff there. And it's a total Blake Slate. You know what he looks like, and that's it. We know what his armor looks like. And we know he probably used glyphs, and that's it. All right. Alex, a bit less so, just because she just has a dagger, and she's from, like, I want to say it was the time, like, before the Great... It was, like, around the time of the Great War. I'm blanking on when exactly The Girl Fell to the World was written, when Lewis wrote that, but Alex was... Yeah, so, like, a bit from, like, I guess, like, similarly, a snapshot of older version of Remnant, like a more ancient past sort of thing that's not like Salem or like the old gods or anything, but just, hey, here was a character from 100 years ago, or hey, here's a character from like 60 years ago. I think those two work out pretty well for that. Just like kind of maybe a snapshot, do some fun stuff. I do think Nicholas is a better pick than Alex. We're writing down. All right, hear me out. That first movie is really bad. The second movie is markedly better. I like the second movie. I like the second movie a lot, actually, but more so from her appearance in the first movie. And I think she's also in the first crossover comic, the first Justice League crossover. I haven't read. One of the few things I haven't seen yet is the second crossover comic. I don't know if she's in that one, but Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern, from those movies, I think if there's one character you pull out of those movies, it would be her. You could do Superman. I don't think you do Batman. Don't think you do Flash. There's some things you do like Vixen or whatever. I don't know, but I think if there's one character who is most well liked from those movies, from the fan base in general, it would be Jessica. So I think you would pull her. I don't know if you do the small beam form. Probably the full version. I think you do a full version because this is now past the first movie or past like the whole artificial world thing where all that bullshit happened, and now we're into this is just her. This is now just Green Lantern from DC. She's just here now. She could be kind of fun, but I think we stick to mainly roster. But if we're talking about like a crossover character, strangely enough, she's one that would work pretty well. All right, last couple. I think this is actually I have like 2 slides left. Okay, winding down. This is 2 hours. This is almost 2 hours. I didn't think it was gonna be this fucking long, but here we are. All right, similar representation. Kind of already touched on this, but with Robin and the Happy Huntresses, you could just as easily go with any of the ones. I think Robin has. I think in order of interest, it would be probably Robin. I know Joanna would be the bottom one. I don't think Joanna, the one in back. I think she's probably the one who'd be least likely out of any of them. I'd probably say May, the blue-haired girl. I think she's probably the one I'd go second. And I like Fiona a lot, the sheep girl, but I think like ability-wise, especially because all 3 of them have the same weapon. Robin has like the compact like wrist-mounted crossbow. The other 3 have just double crossbow stabs, which are kind of cool, but they all have the same weapon. I would think that May's semblance has the best maybe utility, although you could do some really funny stuff with Fiona's. But that's kind of them. And I also kind of touched on this already, but with Aesop's. So as far as like Atlas operatives we have already, mainly then we have just Winter. Like she is our Atlas military pick. I threw Harriet in on the potential ones. I think Marrow, the dude on the far left, could also do it pretty well. Elm would also fit the role of still around. So that's a plus for her. And I do like, if you want another hammer character with a rocket launcher, it's kind of like a bigger the problem with Elm is kind of like a bigger version of Nora, and Nora's more important. So I think she's too close as far as like attributes wise. Harriet is the speedster, kind of like Ruby, but also different, and another boxer. But the problem is if you have Theodore, I don't know, like we might have too many boxer type characters for Harriet to be there. Marrow could be really cool with Stay and his like boomerang sort of shit, but AR, we'll see. I don't know. So I think Marrow or Harriet are our best bets for there. Clover, unique weapon, but I don't know. I think if you're doing the luck thing, you already have Crow's current version of it, which is both just luck and not good luck, not just bad luck. So you don't need Clover's good luck anymore. I think you're kind of double dipping on there if you have him. And Vine is Vine, and yeah, I don't really care about Vine. I'm sorry, Vine. Nah, sorry. You're not getting there. All right, last slide. This is just kind of like how I came to my ideas, I guess. We have basically everyone on the left ended up in contention, and the Oscar nations are just I went with Oscar instead. They're all kind of just below Oscar as far as like importance, but they would all do the same sort of thing. Just Oscar's actually like the most hypothetically powerful one, and fall like by Oz and like the King of Vale probably. I don't know. Or actually, well, you have the original. You have Ozma is probably the most like powerful one, but oh well. So S is everyone's already most of the top tiers. Everyone's already been in a fighting game, and it's kind of just all must haves. S tier, then you've got like everyone I think is just fucking cool. So you got your Crow, Sun, Cinder, Winter, Raven, Nora, Jean, Emerald. Everyone who ends up in either base game or season 1. A tier is then also everyone else. Basically, everyone in the top 3 tiers is either in the game, base game as DLC, or in like top must picks or like top alternates. And then B is also everyone else who's in alternates. Everything below that, like you have your unknowns, Oscar nations. Everyone on the right side is just like cool, but probably too niche, a little too like Scrimblow. And then everyone down in the bottom is either they don't fight or you are getting into real glup shit territory. So I didn't want to include them, but I wanted to shout out that, this is everyone. I went through the wiki again because I found the original template, and then I went through and I added more characters. So I added like the Arrowfell characters. I didn't add like every Arrowfell NPC, and I didn't add like some other shits, and I didn't add the movie characters. But this is like everyone I think that appeared in the main animations, which is too much. But yeah, I think that'll be it. There's a couple more slides here, but I'm gonna roll this into what the fuck I do next. Yeah, I wasn't meaning for this to be a stream, but two things. My computer currently, I'm looking to get a new one, but this thing's old. But every time I try to record the video, just kind of fucks up. Oh, that's the wrong one. All right, there's me. Every time I try to record it, it just kind of fucks up entirely. So I wanted to just not do that, I guess. And come back here. Yeah, let me come back here. So every time I kind of do anything, it fucks it up. I didn't want to do that anymore. This way I can also just kind of get my thoughts out there because I was running out of time. So, Spicy, thank you very much for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble for 2 fucking hours. I didn't think it was going to take that long. Damn. Okay, cool. I got off a phone call and I just put this on and started yapping. So, nice. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. Look forward to seeing you around, man. And I'm going to hopefully get back and at some point edit over like some visuals to this. But for now, this is going to go straight up on the YouTube and just kind of goes to raw. But I don't know. Just kind of want to get my initial thoughts out there. I'll hopefully be able to do something in like as far as like full roster thoughts, yeah, sort of thing. I don't know. Yapping's fun. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah, it was good yapping. I'll see you on Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah. Work is gonna get really fucking busy for me now, so I'll be tired, but I will be there. But sick. That's okay. Just stop that now. I'll get this posted up, and yeah, hopefully edit it over, and then maybe hopefully someday do like an actual character archetype at least breakdown for something. But yeah, then hang out and later.